Hello YouTube, welcome to the first video on my channel. Hopefully this is going to be focused enough on the several topics that I'm going to try to keep this channel to. Try to keep it, I try to keep things on one channel instead of having several channels that try to populate enough content for all these different subjects. So I think I'll just keep everything on one channel. But I'm just going to touch on everything right here in this first video, at least the plan for the channel, where I want things to go. So the reason I'm doing this is because I want somewhere to get some ideas out. I want some feedback, obviously. I recently, a year ago, about a little bit over a year ago, got off of Instagram, social media, Facebook, Twitter, for the most part, all that stuff. And that's usually where I got out ideas and feedback on things, but that's just it's not the right environment, and it's not able to get out enough ideas, and it's not you just can't. I think YouTube's a better platform. I'll just say that. So I've had a lot of success learning videos learning from tutorials on different things to jumpstart my own career, and I think it's viable to kind of help people understand that that's a really powerful tool. And there's a lot of with anything, you have to weed through the bullshit and find the good. You have to do good research, and you have to compare evidence and try to be unbiased and try to not have cognitive dissonance, and try not to make things a certain way just because you want them to be a certain way, which I think everybody is guilty of. But so yeah, I mostly want to keep it to just getting things out that I like, that I personally like, that I do and research on, and try to find the best information, the best way of doing things. I'm very inspired by Tim Ferriss. He's breaks things down. That's kind of the idea of what I want to try to do, and just getting my own thoughts out. Also, on anything that's coming up in the world, new stuff, events that might happen, which they could be sensitive subjects in the future. There's a lot of sensitive subjects nowadays, but anything that's political in any kind of way, or that touches on sensitive subjects is it's kind of risky nowadays, or at least it's you could get labeled something, and they're quick to put a stamp on you, and that's just how you are, and then you get thrown in a pile with a bunch of other people you might not even have any knowledge of. So that's kind of a bad thing about nowadays. But I think YouTube's the best platform to combat that, and get your ideas out in long form. And now there's obviously there's all kinds of video conferencing tools that you could use, but live debates and things like that, live podcasts with people where you converse about things. You might keep it to one topic and explore ideas. That's the whole point. So you might find that overall in my videos I will be ranting. I will be free flowing. So I've got a list over here, an outline of things I wanted to talk about, and I haven't looked at it once because that's how my mind is. So I will look at it now. So I'm going to keep it to mostly exploring ideas. That's the whole point of it. So I've got several main interests, which I'll mostly keep it to those. I'm not going to try to explore topics that are popular or that are trending for monetary reasons, just because that'll get more views. I'm only going to talk about the stuff that I actually care about, and that I can that I want to give my opinion on, or give review, or I guess that's the opinion, but get other people's feedback and their response, and start a dialogue to shape my own ideas with other people in the world. So just exploring things that I like, and that I as I converse and start that dialogue, I'll learn more about the things that I like, or learn that other people don't, that they don't know, if depending. So because sometimes the YouTube comments can be sort of a dangerous environment. Not dangerous, but you never know what you're going to get in there. So but I always go to those and read them because I love the chaos of YouTube. So exploring ideas, but I've got several main interests. Probably the main one that will be, exploring things technically and really, being able to give the most professional opinion on, and the most, real life world examples. Real world examples are web development. So I am a professional. I hesitate to say that still. It got imposter syndrome a little bit. Professional full stack WordPress developer for a small branding agency in the Midwest. It's a pretty small company, under 10 employees, and we service small to medium sized local and regional businesses, private and government based. And been doing that for about 2 years now. So I've been learning advanced programming, interfacing with the WordPress platform, using modern front-end tools like Bootstrap and Flexbox and SAS and SAS, and we're not really trying to go the JavaScript framework route. It's just changing too much, and WordPress is very stable. So that's when I came on, that's what they were doing, and I had a negative opinion of WordPress at first, and I quickly threw that notion away and started fresh. And under the mentorship of the lead developer there, in my first year, I underwent a crash course on the job. Had to learn it and then apply the knowledge to live projects. They were in need of a developer. I was in need of a job. It was a very quick hire-on situation. But it's been good so far. I've learned a lot, and I want to try to share that knowledge with people that are looking for specific ways of doing things in relation to WordPress and the technologies that I use a lot. And if, obviously everyone's, especially in technical developer stuff, everyone's got their own way of doing things, and there's always different ways of doing things. And hopefully in the process I can help some people get the concepts of things a little bit. And hopefully I can, relay real world situations and like good solutions to them, and hopefully some people can comment and help me improve them too. But so WordPress tutorials, just front end theme based tutorials, maybe troubleshooting like common problems, and I've got some things written down over here. Just messed up the camera. Look at that. There's a patch on the wall. We rent this house. So what I don't want to do is do full series like HTML from start to finish, CSS from start to finish, because there's so many of those and so many very good ones already. I don't feel like I have anything to contribute to those. I've used most of those to learn, like the New Boston, Derek Banis, I think Banis. He has really good tutorials to really JavaScript in 30 minutes, and he does a very good job. So those, I don't have any business doing any of that stuff, I don't feel, and it's already been done very well. So go look those up if that's what you're looking for. I'm focusing on more of specific examples, like specific features, specific errors that you would get, migrating a site to a server, trying to, troubleshoot a plugin that's not working, or troubleshoot, advanced things on WordPress where, it can get people completely stuck, and I've gotten completely stuck in projects too, and it took, a team to figure it out, and once I figured it out, it became kind of common knowledge to me. But then, I'm sure that happens a lot where that happens, but no one really kind of relays the situation and helps someone else that might need that again. They just kind of go on, which, so I want to try to explore some of those things as well. So I mostly do theme development, but in the process I've had to make custom plugins that did, because they had to interface with WordPress a certain way. We didn't have a complete custom theme, custom everything. They had a stock theme that got updated, and so you had to drop in with a plugin, stuff for the plugin. But I don't really do much of that. I think I will in the future, because I feel like there are some things that can be done better and more specific for specific situations, a certain way, and there's a good market for that right now. So I might try to develop some things, some plugins that are, real cheap, but that could help a lot of people out. I definitely like, in business, I definitely like the idea of selling more things at a cheaper price. So it's, if you don't mind buying a song for $1, which I guess a lot of people do now, but that's my idea, is that, you sell something for really cheap, like $1 or $2, and you allow every type of payment. I'm really into Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, and, and selling more of them to more people. So it's, I don't really like the idea of squeezing as much out of it as you can, as you can see, I'm not used to talking for this long in this projected, but I think it's good for me. I'm kind of a quiet person in general, so when I talk, I don't really project it very much. So this is kind of a good thing, I think. Maybe if I don't lose my voice, but so. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep this video to just these two topics. In the realm of, so exploring ideas and web development, and another one that kind of encompasses, that's in the web development area, is getting a job in making money in general without going to college and without having to invest in getting the knowledge yourself so you can go work. There are certain things that you have to go to college for. It's like there's a route that you have to go to be legit. In web development, it's not so much. You'll probably have imposter syndrome, which is you feel like everyone else is really professional and knowledgeable, and you're just like this. I just learned on the side, and I don't really know anything. And really, most people feel that way, and they feel like everyone else is probably way more knowledgeable than them. Or not everybody feels that way, but a lot of people. And it's really common in web development because people teach themselves. So I want to try to help people understand, people that, my friends from high school, my friends from, just right now, that, they're kind of, or they might hit walls or whatever in their career. They don't have anything to do, and they go to their job every day and hate it, and make no money, and don't have really a ladder to climb up, or a view, or of somewhere to go with it. So they hate that every day, but they don't have any interest in doing, something that they could learn. I'm getting a reflection here. That they could learn, for free, and make some money with it. And even if they didn't like that, or that this was just as lame as their other job, at least they're making money and they have somewhere to go with it, and they can. I just don't understand that's not for me. Which it might be in sort of an insecurity type of thing, and it's really easy to have because you think programming, code, and these nerdy people that are sitting by computers and they're programming, and it can be very intimidating, especially for someone who might feel like they don't stack up in the in the academic area. But it's really not. It's not those kinds of problems. It's not that advanced, technically wise. And I'm not sure how much of that stuff really is. I got to algebra and I was like, ugh, I did not like it in school. Let's just say that. I've not gone to college. I graduated high school in 2011. And after that, I was working as a sales rep at Verizon, kind of learning. I had to learn several different types of software, invoicing software, the bill and planning software that they use for Verizon, and I like that. I like learning and solving problems, especially on the fly, and the pressure of having people sitting there as you're going through their plan and trying to set up their phones and whatnot, and learning new phones all the time too, troubleshooting devices. I liked all that. So I liked solving problems, but I didn't like selling stuff. I didn't like to try to upsell or get focus things, even though people didn't want them because they were higher on commission for me, or they were promoted that month. It just seemed super ingenuine. So I didn't like that, but I realized I like solving problems. And while I had downtime in this this local Verizon store, which didn't get super busy, especially during the day, and I would take full shifts from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And so on my downtime, I would either draw lots of drawings, or I would learn code. I would practice HTML. I would learn Foundation and Bootstrap and work on CSS stuff, just playing around with designs. And I didn't do any content management, database stuff at all then. Like, each page was the HTML, the text was on the HTML, like it was not dynamic at all. But that's how you start. So I learned there, and just was living by myself in an apartment, like right after high school, or a couple years after high school, actually. This was a couple years after high school. I worked at that store for a couple of years. And I was just Googling one night. I was just up really late Googling one night about like web development jobs and stuff, and I found one in a town right near me, a real local brand new company who was looking for local developers, and I had a meeting with them like the next week, and a couple had plans to get hired on, and did get hired on, and was mostly working with Photoshop and front end stuff. Like, I learned a lot about Foundation, Zerb's Foundation framework. It's like really similar to Bootstrap. They were kind of same thing, I think, in the very beginning, and they kind of split off. It was like the same team making them, they split off, but very similar front end responsive frameworks that have a lot of features built in. And but I started to not like code as much, and started to get more into I started to not like the design as much, and started to get more into the code. And it went really quick. I started learning it. I presented that I had a little bit of knowledge with it. And I really didn't back then, but I still got a job. I started working right away, and I started learning from like real world situations rather than just tutorials all the time. So, or tutorials and just like mess around with stuff on my local computer, and not really having the feedback of clients and then your boss and other designers and their opinions and stuff. So right away I got that. You got used to that. You get used to things getting shot down, and you get used to getting things overwritten, because you just don't know as much as some people, even though you might not think you do, but you don't a lot of times. Sometimes it's a bitter pill to swallow, but the more you have to swallow that pill, the easier it goes down. So, and you always learn something from it, so it doesn't seem as bad anyway. So mostly under the web development is like specific tutorials, maybe exploring updates, like new features of new things, and maybe testing some of the stuff, but also keeping it WordPress focused, because that's what I work with every day professionally, and have the most legit knowledge of. So keep it to that, and just in general how to kind of think about it when you might want to do this for money. Different avenues you could go, different advantages that you could have in this career, as opposed to anything else. An IT career is a lot different. It's obviously everything is going the technology route, and having that knowledge in general definitely seems valuable. But the software part of it is very lucrative, and there's a tall ladder that you could climb to, and especially if you start doing your own stuff on the side, like passive income, which is another area that eventually we'll get into. But so almost 20 minutes. Hope that my subscriber base becomes the podcasty sort of long format people. I enjoy those types of videos. When I see a 6-minute video, I'm kind of like, I can't really do much in the time it takes to do that. I like long form, like 10-minute plus videos usually, because I don't like to hear the gist. I like to hear the full explanation usually, and not everybody's like that. So, but there's a lot of people that cover these different types of topics. So, for this video, this is the intro for my channel series. What my channel is going to cover: exploring ideas, web development, within web development, starting a career, and helping out with real world situations that you could run into as a developer. Thanks for watching, and keep posted for updates. Thanks.